You don't fail at discipline because you're weak. You fail because you don't know what it costs. And you think that more motivation will fix that, but it won't, because discipline is here when the feeling of motivation is gone. And right now, there are millions of people out there setting up the alarm for tomorrow and never wake up because they don't know what discipline will cost. And I've done this too. I've been both versions, the comfortable version of me and the disciplined version of me. And most men out there don't build anything, not because they don't start, because they mistake their rehearsal with the real thing. And what do I mean with that? So they start with a plan, they start with great energy, with motivation, and for 1 or 2 weeks everything is fine. And then reality hits in, not immediately, slowly. So the things don't work out like planned. Maybe the numbers feel smaller than the felt of the motivation at the beginning. Maybe the people are not so impressed as they should be. And in that exact moment, most men think that there are signals to stop, that this is a signal that it's not working, that it is maybe the wrong time or maybe the wrong version that they're trying to build. And then they leave and tell themselves they need a smarter version, and already in their head they already have a different path, a different career they want to take with a different version that maybe will work out. But what nobody tells them, that this is the exact point where most of them leave, where most of them quit. And I've done this over 13 years ago. So in every project I started, I had motivation. I was so excited. I had so much energy to start with that project. And they didn't stop randomly. They already had the same pattern. I repeat over and over again. So I start excited, feel ready, then the motivation drops and the grinding part starts, and I stop, because this is the part everyone stops. Because when the motivation fades, you see it as a signal to stop, because discipline takes over at that moment. And if I would look back at that mistakes or that quitting times, every time I had a good reason to quit. So an explanation, for example, this was not the right time, or maybe my gear wasn't good, or even I hadn't planned it out perfectly, and there were good reasons to stop, but every one of that reason was wrong. Not because they're not right, because the idea was fine, the timing was good, the equipment was good, everything was good. The only problem I had is that I wasn't grinding. So when the happy part stops and the grinding part starts to compile, then you automatically stop, because you think, okay, it's getting harder, maybe it doesn't work out. But this is the time, this is the timeline where everything starts to build. Nothing comes from today to tomorrow. You need to build it day by day. And if you do this for long enough, one day you will see it as a failure, but you will also see it as a success. And here's what I understand now, what I didn't understand back then. That beginning doesn't mean that you're starting. Beginning is a feeling when you get for free. For example, you have the motivation, you have the ideas, you want to start, you're motivated. So you begin with something. For example, you create a YouTube channel, you begin to upload videos, and this doesn't mean that you're started. You're just beginning. And then the difference between beginning and starting is different, because beginning is, as I mentioned, it is a free energy source. You're motivated, you're happy to make videos. But then when the motivation fades away, then this is the time where you're really starting, because this is the time you need to show up every day, regardless how you feel, even though when nobody's watching. This is the part you need to start. And this is where the most men out there stop dreaming about their project, stop believing in their project. Not because the dream is maybe stupid or maybe they don't believe in themselves. The problem is just they didn't build the foundation. So when you begin something, when you have that feeling that everything is right, you're on the right path, maybe this is your career you want to do, maybe this is your business idea you want to make money, they don't build the foundation because they're just feeling good and they don't build anything. And having that feeling of excitement builds nothing. This doesn't prove who you are. When you start to build something day by day with 0 people watching you, this is what builds you. This is the foundation you're starting to build, because this is also the starting phase. And I want you that you finish this video with how I think about starting something. So the moment you begin something, for example, you start a YouTube channel, first 2 weeks doesn't mean nothing. When the motivation disappears and you stay for that, this is the week where everything starts, where it compounds, where you do it over and over again. You need to mark this week, because this is the starting phase of something big. Because everything you do from that week forward, everything compounds, everything will build your dream, and everything before that week was just preparation, was just the motivation, just the starting point, the beginning point. And from that week on, when the motivation is gone, this is your starting point. This is your foundation. And the men with great ideas in the first week aren't the most successful, because they're just, as I mentioned, this was just motivation at the beginning phase. Everything beyond that, maybe the man on week 85, they felt the weight, they felt the way to stop, they wanted to stop, because they compounded so many days, they made so many videos, for example as YouTube, they made so many videos and posted so many videos that they built a foundation, and they know some tips and tricks that the person who begins something doesn't know yet, because you know something by doing something. And that's what building means, something. That's how you build something real. You can touch, you can see, and maybe not in a year, maybe in 5 years, everything will pay off, and then you will see your work you have done. And trust me, if you start something, you just need to push through, even when it's uncomfortable, and it will be uncomfortable. And as for that, if you want to know the uncomfortable truth, why you cannot start anything, check out this video. And if you want to see my latest video, it's right here. And as for that, thank you for watching, guys, and I am rooting for you.